You've got a jumper on.
It's literally the only thing that makes me recognisable.
No, because it's be highly illegal. Good stuff. Cheers to
Right,
that.
Yeah, cheers to that. So we're passing the famous 40 Towers.
I play Sybil 40.
Okay.
Oh, like no. Oh, no, that sounded like Liz Truss.
Yeah, well, I want to see what happens. A few more drinks in.
Yeah.
Whether you're going to start switching between like
All of my
Sybil
alter
to
egos.
Liz Truss to Angela Rayner. Because this is on the Waterloo to Covent Garden route. For some reason, we've got a particularly athletic-looking friend now who literally looks like someone stuffed a condom full of eggs. That's what his body looks like. And he was trying to teach us how to do lunges. And outside the third pub did a lunge, and that was back in my late 20s, early 30s. So when we were going through that phase of like chaps having like, you know, like tight trousers, didn't appreciate it.
Did the egg explode?
My trousers went
Oh no. Classic.
Yeah, like it wasn't my finest look.
I used to love dancing more than anything. None of my work enables me to dance, really.
We did make it to the semi-final of Britain's Got Talent as the comedy dance act where basically everything goes wrong.
The Dots Comedy Cabaret Trio, a lot of the time in our industry, someone will have to go off and do a job because, I don't know, maybe they've got a job in the West End or something, and it means you need to get someone to step in last minute as an understudy. I came up with the idea that why don't we just base it on truth? So I then became that person that was stepping in, but had learned all of the choreography, all the dance moves on the wrong leg, on the wrong side.
Yes.
So that was the premise behind it. So our rehearsal period, it was just, I've never been so exhausted because we were trying to joke. So we were trying to work out what we could sing. And also didn't want to get like pigeonholed. We ended up having to go down that route because we couldn't do the other song. It was tricky. I remember sitting in the audience of the semi-finals, and we've got so many layers of clothes on. To go on live TV with that many layers on, nobody needs to do that. I was like a big giant sack of, like a big potato, potato, just sat in the audience thinking, millions of people watching this live, and I feel it, that this isn't gonna quite work, and it didn't. It was cool. The whole thing was an amazing experience. I'll be honest with you guys, we hadn't rehearsed, we don't know what we were doing, but we had one of those grounding moments when Ant and Dec reveal who's going home or staying or whatever, and the lights go out on you if you're going home. And they said, oh, the Dots are, and someone in the audience just shouted out, oh, going home, obviously. It was the worst heckle.
Right, good. Well, we've got to stop chatting, otherwise you're never going to be able to finish that pint.
Oh, God.
So, that's all right, you don't have to neck it.
I'm only eating chicken, what's the point?
Yes.
I might as well just be a veggie or pescatarian.
Oh, did you just film all of that? It's fine,
Important information.
I think a lot of people care about pubs, and I think pubs are in a bad way. The pubs around here will have what they call a division bell in them, which is what used to be the way that they would ring the bell before a vote. And so optically what people say is like a penny's gone down. But it's like, no, yeah, thanks. A penny's gone down, but I literally have to sell 10,000 pints to cover like the increase in like all of my staff.
Yeah.
I'm just going to have to let 3 of them go.
It was the most animated I think I've ever seen Rachel Reeves. And then at the end, she just went, and also we're going to put up your pints are going down by 1p. Aren't we brilliant?
And you're like, but it's not 3 pence, because no one puts it up as 3 pence, they put it up by 5. And it just keeps going up and up and up and up and up. Probably would be cheaper doing cocaine.
Not that you're promoting.
Not that I'm promoting it. That's another reason to get this video banned. Yeah, I mean, you must watch like the budgets.
Sat there with a little pen and paper going,
are you really? Like,
yeah.
Can you imagine you're like, I'm going to do this next?
But it wasn't, I found it quite difficult because this is the problem with anything political. This country, abroad, wherever, it's hard to parody it now because all of it just seems like a parody. You're ultimately just like regurgitating it, but just in a different way. So I have to keep trying to find new ways. You do it for the people that are watching your stuff, right? And then people will respond and say, you didn't mention this. You didn't mention pork markets. You didn't say that's a disgrace. You missed the cheese. You missed the. So
like, no, I'm telling jokes here. They're like, no, we just want you to.
We don't want your jokes.
Say what she's saying. That's funny.
The times when I've tried to create like sketches or things that I've really been clever about my jokes, or I've been clever with references to see if anyone will notice those subtle bits. They get hardly any views. Play the classics. I get cheese, and pork markets. They're the ones that people are going to watch. When I first came across Liz Truss, I didn't know who she was. I thought she was a comedian. I was jealous, I'll be honest, because I was like, there's someone out there who looks a bit like me, who's doing a better job at comedy than I am. So then I ended up gaining a career as political impressionist, but it's not something I do. I mean, she'd probably be having a pint, wouldn't she?
Yes.
She'd have a pint. She'd have a pint of wine, knowing her though.
Yeah, probably.
Pint of anything. The thing is, I'm not also an impressionist. You know,
No.
you just fall into something.
You told us earlier, like you're a dancer, like you're a trained dancer. We are going to finish these pints in a minute. Like,
Oh,
I'm
no,
see? You see who's talking and who's listening, and then we are going to walk up through Whitehall, where we have your moment to shine. We walk past Downing Street.
I don't know why I just wanted to be Boris Johnson from leaving there.
I was going to say, like, how many prime ministers can we get you to impersonate as we walk past Downing Street?
Sure, I can try a few, and we'll see how we get, Thomas. All right?
There you go, right?
Fantastic.
And we do that, and then we've got a pub waiting for us at Trafalgar Square. Too much going on here, actually.
Yeah. Well, there is, because I'm here.
Yeah, I know.
Liz Truss is here, ready. Oh, I sound a bit like Boris Johnson.
You do, yeah. I was surprised when I hear people are good impersonators. How do people like flip between different
characters.
Do you hear the voice in your head immediately? Like, you know how to do Liz Truss, like you've got that, like...
Yeah, Liz, I hear it now, but I always need a sentence, something to get me into it. Like, blah, blah, blah. I always go blah, 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 blah.
Your trigger phrase to do Boris Johnson is...
Oh, bloody hell.
Okay. This is a bit of amateur dramatics in my day. I did the John Godber play Happy Families, which was Northern. And of course, amateur dramatics, doing accents is one of the funniest things ever. My trigger phrase used to always be, our favourite place for us holidays were our Uncle James's house in Barnsley.
That was very good.
I can't, yeah, but because that's the trigger phrase. That's what I remember. Like, I can't follow up with it now. Right?
I know that's the thing.
But
I heard her on radio saying, Mary from Brighton. I was going to talk to Mary from Brighton. Don't get hit. God, no, don't do that. That could be your new calling.
what?
You could be, we could work here.
It could be the male equivalent of what, Bonnie Blue or whatever. that would be so bad.
I'm not joking though, you would go viral.
I would get a virus, is what would happen. Okay, so what we're saying is that we're in a pub where technically it is legally a brothel. I'm about 2 months into my hair transplant now, which is why I look a little bit like a tennis ball. Give it a couple more months and these little bits will be filled in, and then I said I want to look like Aquaman. Like, just, forget the fact that like he's, Polynesian and massive. Like
Same thing.
Just same thing. I look exactly the same. I got mine done in Leeds. One of the things that is the most important thing with a hair transplant is the recovery afterwards. So I actually booked myself an Airbnb for a week in Leeds.
To hide away from general public.
Because one of the things after you had a hair transplant, like you can't touch your hair, you can't even like get it wet in the shower or anything like that. I'm like, all right, fine. I just won't shower. Like, I was pretty scummy, right? But I just bought myself a couple of tracksuits with zip up so I didn't put anything over my head and just sat on the sofa.
I'd been doing theatre throughout my whole life, but it was only when I was 18 that I actually went to study musical theatre.
Right, okay, so you're a regular student up until the point of basically doing like uni.
Actually, I lie. I went to the Brit School, which is where like Adele and like these big people went to in Croydon
That's
into
quite a
17.
flex.
Yeah, I know. I absolutely forgot. I was like, oh, name drop. There you
by
go.
the way,
Woof, going into Croydon at age 14 or something, and then getting mugged.
That's a shit place in the world. I was going to say, like, I thought that when you work in the arts, you're supposed to be a little bit softer, a little bit more gentle, a little bit more creative.
Really threw me in.
You are definitely getting tougher.
Threw me in the deep end.
The only time I've ever been to Croydon, I was in an armed robbery. I left school at 17 and my first job was working in a bank. I went to go and work at this one in Croydon. I went into this place and it got like big glass panels up. This guy walks in with a baseball cap and he pushes an envelope, which I thought was full of cash or thing, and he says, there's a bomb in that. I'm gonna detonate it if you don't give me all of your money. And I remember saying, it's not my fucking money, is it? So of course you can have all of it. Don't blow me up. Like, I was like, you can have all of it. No.
I'd have been like this, a roll over, like.
No, you couldn't. Right?
Take it.
Well, he pulled a gun out at the same time, so that was a bit weird. I didn't know when I was going to get blown up or shot. By the way, kids, never rob a bank. It's never worth robbing a bank. They don't have much money in the till.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can go around every till with a machine gun saying, empty your till. You're gonna walk.
You sound like you said that from experience.
Yeah,
like,
you're gonna walk.
something
You're
you've
gonna
done.
walk out with a couple of grand. Like it's just not worth it. 150 quid for a year in jail. I mean, we are in a pub that used to be a brothel.
Bring it right back round. Call back there.
Yeah, that's
lovely.
a callback, right? I mean, £150 a year. Probably got more sex in prison. Tell me about the Christmas panto that you did.
You can't just go from that to that.
Yeah. All right.
Cheers to
Some
that.
fresh air. Are we on? Are we recording? Oh,
I don't even know what I'm drinking. I have a few people come up to me and go, "I really recognise you," and then they've made the connection and they're like, "Liz, no, Boris, no," and they get confused. So
Yes.
I don't even know who I am.
The Trump one was fairly punchy.
I actually really, I don't know why, but I have a real thing about doing men. I'm really good at doing men more than I am women, all right? So I think that's why I probably enjoy playing Trump, because I can just
you're
get
like-
all of my makeup from like 5 years old and go, oh, I like her, mate. She's great fun. I was thinking about doing a little bit more of her somewhere. Rachel Reeves, she's really boring, but she always does everything like this, so she'd probably drink her drink like this. Always character first and then everything else second. But Nadine Dorries, I mean,
I
she's
thought you were
just,
going to say her. Yeah, you did quite
she'd be all over a pint, wouldn't she? She'd be going around Westminster. She'd be drinking as much as she can. For me, it's always been like the character that comes first and then everything else comes afterwards. I grew up watching Alan Partridge and like,
Aha. Like Alan Partridge is one of the best comedy
amazing.
characters of all time.
So I want to talk about it now, not on YouTube.
No, we're already going to get banned. This video's already not going to get monetized. We've covered drug abuse and prostitution. There's definitely a guy getting arrested over the road. Look at him.
Well, we might as well make it the double three.
Yeah,
Double
why
three?
not?
Triple three?
Yeah, the beard, that's kicking in now, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I took a photo in a pub in Salford, and your poster was in the King's Arms.
Oh, was it? Oh,
And I was like, oh, that's my friend. Like, I know her. That's my. It was like probably in between this moment, but that's my friend.
friend.
So yeah, I know her. How do you know her? Internet.
Basically, I did my previews before Edinburgh in Manchester. I remember contacting them because I was like, I need to get my face out there,
And
darling.
they're quite a good arty place. They've got a good theatre there. Like it's quite, it's quite a good, interesting place.
It's a really cool place. I really enjoyed it there because I'd never been to Manchester before that point in terms of doing my own show. I've done shows there.
Yes, I mean you would totally get hated on because it is technically in Salford.
There is that. Sorry.
They don't like that.
Can we go back? You get around, don't you? Sorry, I don't mean that. It's amazing though. You've been around the world though, haven't you? You've done a bit of
There's
everything.
still so much more to go.
Where's the one place you want to go to?
Well, it's not one. I have.
All right. Can't have it all.
Yeah.
One.
I have my heart set on a little route that's like China, Japan, and Australia.
Cool.
I think that there's some incredible history in China where it's not a pub as we know it here, but there's some drinking establishments that would be really interesting. And then Japan, where it's a lot more whiskey based, I think would be, and sake would be interesting. And then, like Australia's like England, but with less people and a lot sunnier times. If I can kind of make that work, that would probably be the next kind of big trip.
It's been around the world.
Yeah. I was so gonna quote like Lisa Stansfield.
I know, I was as well.
And both of us are like,
it's Lisa Stansfield. I can't find my baby.
I can't find my baby. Supposed to be 2 hours. We are 4 hours in, and we've had a great time. Thank you so much.
And I'm fine.
Thank you so much for joining me. That was so much fun.
Thank you.
It's so good to meet a famous celebrity of split personalities who's made it really.
I'm not sure if that sounds like a good thing. Hey, I've got split personalities. Follow me.
Yeah, I hadn't worked out the outro. Jeez.
I've been Liz Truss. Nerine Skinner.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Good night.